And okay.
All right, recording has started, so go ahead and give your attention to Dr. Eklund.
Okay. Well, it's great to see you guys. And this is we're recording this and we'll be putting it on the department website. So you'll be able to go back and review it anytime. We're also, all of the information we're going over tonight is also already on the website in written form. But basically, we have you guys come to this advising meeting before we give you permission codes to enroll into 455 or 475, because it's important you understand it's not your kind of traditional undergrad class where you just enroll, you order a book and you show up the first day of class, right? This is your field or applied learning activity, your applied learning class. And you have two options. You've got the field experience and then the research experience. So we'll go ahead and dig in and kind of go through those, and then go ahead and raise your hand if you have questions. You can raise your electronic hand on Zoom, and Dr. Oda, you can make me pause when you see people with questions. You guys should have all seen this before. This is our advising sheet internally to the department, and we're here talking about Domain 3, your applied learning course, which is also a general education course. So you need to do this course both for your GE requirements and for your major requirements. You need to do it one time for both, for the BA, and then for the BS, it's twice. And if you're doing the minor in substance abuse counseling or substance use counseling, you have to do it twice for that. So 455 is required once for the BA, twice for the substance use minor, and twice for the research methods, the BS, twice for the research 475 class. So but once is for GE, and all of that, the GE double counts. So you just have to do it once. If you're a BA in psych, you're going to do it one time minimum, and that'll count for your GE as well as for your major. You can take it multiple times, which I'll just keep going here. Actually, I'll talk. You can retake the 455 for 3 semesters as electives. So one time's required, twice can be electives. And you can do 475 for 4 semesters. That's research experience. You can do 2 years of research experience. Again, if you're doing the BS, you're only required to do it twice. But if you're doing the BA and you want to do research experience, you can do that as well. And those would be elective units. Okay. Let's start off talking about research experience. Research experience is where you are basically doing your applied learning activity under the supervision of a faculty member. And so this Google link will take you to our department website, where you will see the research teams that are currently accepting students right now. So I'm taking students to help work on 2 different writing projects. So you'll get to do, both writing projects are about diversity and diversity identity. One of them is to work on the revision of the multicultural psychology textbook that we use in the department. So we're working on edition 2. And so you'd have the opportunity to be involved in that process. And then there's another multicultural counseling book that I'm working on. And right now I'm working on a project on intersectionality and parenting. So it's all about diversity and intersectionality and identity. Dr. Castaneda has openings in her research lab. She's doing a lot of work around substance use. That's her area of specialty. She does funded research projects and works with different agencies within the LA County, with UCLA, et cetera, and does a lot of outreach into the community in her lab. So you'd have the opportunity to be part of, if you're interested in doing data work, if you're interested in doing outreach work. And then Dr. Collison, you guys probably all know Dr. Collison. He's our resident social psychologist, or one of our 2. And he does a lot of, his work focuses on relationships. So he's done stuff on like foodie dating and speed dating and, social prejudices against mismatched couples, things like that. So he does a lot of stuff on relationships and from a social psychology lens. And then Dr. Oda is going to, I guess, keep it a secret unless you want to say something right now, Dr. Oda.
Something did not get communicated to the staff. So what I'm doing, I have 3 projects going on. One is continue to doing work with working with data gathered from children who experience disaster, and so what kind of interventions we can do for them. My second project is on Latino adolescents and suicide prevention. And the third one is on Korean American families and parent-child relations.
Great. So if any of those sound interesting to you, to come alongside with the faculty, and you'll learn you'll have the opportunity to dig deeper into a applied topic in psychology, and you'll get to apply some of your research and data and writing skills, depending on what projects you're going to do with what faculty and what interests you have. So if you're interested in doing a research field experience or research experience class, what you need to do is you need to connect with a faculty member that you're interested in joining their research lab, and you'll just interview with them. We all have different things that we set as minimum criteria. So you just have to reach out to the faculty member that you're wanting to work with. If you reach out to me, I'll set up an appointment via Zoom and we'll just talk. And then if it looks like it's a good fit for you to be in the lab, then we have you reach out to Keely, or I'll send an email to Keely, and then she'll send you a permission code to enroll in the class when it comes time for your enrollment, which we'll talk about in a little bit. Okay, so that's research experience. It's 135 hours commitment. So that is how much 3-unit class in your major is a minimum of 135 hours. And so that is the same with that class. You have to do a minimum of 135 hours in a semester of working alongside with the faculty member. Any questions about research experience? Yes, Chanel.
Is this in person or via Zoom?
So that will vary from faculty member to faculty member as well. So sometimes, my undergrads will join with my graduate research lab. And so we typically do that over Zoom because the graduate students aren't on campus during the daytime. But some faculty, I've seen Matt Heller in his office with his lab in person. So it just varies from faculty member to faculty member. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so now let's talk about field experience. So field experience is a great opportunity. I was talking with a student recently who's already gotten a job offer from her field experience for, when she finishes at the end of the semester, right? So field experience is an opportunity for you to get out into the job world and do an internship, hopefully in an area where you think you're interested in doing your professional growth and interest, your professional interests. Now, for those of you who want to become therapists, obviously there's no real opportunity as an undergrad to do therapy, right? And so there are lots of internships. And so that's where you would connect with me or Dr. Eck, or I don't know who's teaching it for the professional program, but Dr. Linsalato or Professor Linsalato, and talk about what your professional interests are. So for instance, if you're wanting to become a therapist and you want to work with kids, we can point you in the direction of places like David and Margaret and McKinley, where there are residential treatment facilities near campus that have kids that live in them. And those would be the kinds of kids that you might do therapy with someday, but you would be in a residential counselor role, which is basically where you're coming alongside the kids in their everyday activities, right? And you're providing them that emotional and interpersonal support when they're not in therapy or they're not in school. And so that gives you a chance to kind of work with the population. So that's what we would look at, is how can we help you find a place to work with the population that you would like to serve someday? So if you're interested in working with substance using clients, we can get you connected to a rehab center or a transitional living center, a sober living center, those kind of things. So depending on what your interests are, we want to get you placed in a place that's there, that you'd be working with that population, right? If you think you want to go into school psychology or school counseling, we can get you placed in a school setting, etc. There are a few things you can do on campus. Cougar Cares, right now, I think I have 5 students in my field experience class that are doing the Cougars Cares program. And so they're being peer mentors in the Cougars Care program. So there are some things you can do on campus if you don't have transportation as well. And then there are sites close to campus. If you don't have transportation, we do have a couple sites close to campus that you can work with youth in the community as well. So there's also, like, if you're not interested in working with kids, there's adult day treatment centers, there's adult hospital centers. Last year we had a student who was doing his field experience in a mental health hospital in West Covina. and great experience. Now he's in a PsyD program. He's decided to go be a psychologist, and that experience was really transformative for him. So that's what we want, is we want you guys to get into the field, experience something that will help you either decide, this is definitely something I do not ever want to do again, and I do not want to go to grad school for this topic, or decide, yes, this is my calling. Here I go. I know what my next steps are. Right. And so that's what the field experience is about. This link will take you to the department website. Whoops, not that one. I know they're making changes in the website, but if you go to psychology.apu.edu, you can find the information on 455, and there's a whole list of sites, but that is not your scope of opportunity. That's just a launching pad. You can find your own site. If you know you want to do, I don't know, sports psychology, and you know of a sports psych clinic near your home that you really want to work at, or if you think you want to do rehabilitation psychology and there's a rehab center near your home, and you want to reach out to them and see if you can do an internship there, absolutely, we're going to support you in doing that. So it is much like finding a job. You're on your own. You do the research. You use us as your consultants, the faculty as your consultants, to kind of help you brainstorm and kind of talk through what would be a good placement for you. But then you're the one that has to reach out to the site, communicate with their HR department who you are, that you're a student at APU, you're doing your field experience / internship as an undergrad, and you're looking for an opportunity to be in a volunteer position in their organization. And then from there, they take it from there. Okay. So that's how you'll get started with 455, is you can talk with us, or you can just go into the website, look at the list, or go into your own community research. And if you see someplace that you want to work, if you want to go into pastoral counseling, and you have somebody at a local church that wants to mentor you in that, you can do that. Right. And so it's really a self-initiated, with our support, process of finding a place where you can really explore, is this the direction I want to go after I graduate? And at the same time, see the psychology you've been studying for years come to life in your work. Okay. So when should you take 455? Well, you definitely have to take it before you can graduate. But if you're going to be headed to graduate school, we actually recommend that you try to take it in your junior year, because then it's on your resume. Because you typically, when you're headed to graduate school, you're applying that first semester of your senior year. And so, but if you're going to be headed to the workforce, if you're going to take that gap year, or you don't want to go to grad school ever, or at least you think you don't want to go to grad school ever, 70% of you will be going to grad school, whether or not you think so right now. But if you're going to be headed to the workforce, then we recommend you take it in your senior year, because there's a good chance you might get a job offer at the end. And it'd be really disappointing to get a job offer and be like, I still have another year and a half to go before I can take your job, kind of a thing. So it just kind of depends on what route you think you might be going. All right. Any questions so far? Awesome. Okay. So here's another link. I don't know if it's going to work right now. Let me try it. Nope. Okay. But again, psychology.apu.edu, and then you can go to, it's not under grants and scholarships. That's part of the problem right there. I don't know who put that link in there. It's psychology.apu.edu. And then there's a link for undergrad, and then there's a link for field experience and research experience. So you go there, and this information is all on the website. So again, you can find it there. And I already talked about, everybody has to do at least one applied learning class. The 455, it's 100 hours in the field minimum. And that's a minimum. So if you decide you want to go volunteer at a hospital, and you want to be in the pediatrics department in a hospital, they may say, we're a popular place to volunteer, so we'll only accept volunteers if you're willing to commit to 200 hours. If you want to commit to 200 hours, you're welcome to do that. You have to do 100 hours for us, but you're also making a commitment to an agency. And so if you want to make a larger commitment than 100 hours, you're welcome to do that, right? And if you want to take it for 2 semesters and use that one site for 2 semesters, you can do that as well. Okay. But it's a minimum of 100 hours for the on-campus requirements. And then the other 35 hours is going to be being in class every week with your faculty, assigned faculty, depending on whose class you enroll in. And then there's a couple of assignments that you'll be doing throughout the course of the semester. So this has, where 475 is definitely a one-on-one kind of course. This one, there is a syllabus. There are some set expectations besides the individualized field experience. And so, so what typically happens in the field experience is you're typically in the field site for 8 to 10 hours a week. In that time, you should be spending at least 45 minutes to an hour in under the direction of your mentor. That doesn't have to be a 1 hour. It can be 3 15-minute check-ins, right? But you do need to have a mentor who is guiding you in your work and is kind of working with you on setting expectations about what you'll be doing and what you'll be learning, and then reporting back to us the evaluations and that kind of thing. And then you'll also be in weekly group supervision with us here on campus. And then your on-site supervisor will evaluate you midterm and at the end of the year. And it's all done online, so there's not a lot of paper involved with that. And then you need to have a site secured ideally before the semester starts. So this is why we're having this meeting, because if you don't have the site secured by the beginning of the semester, there's a good chance you won't have a site secure by add drop date. And if you don't have a site by add drop date, we're gonna have you drop the class, because the only way to pass the class is to have an internship. Right. So at this point, if you're thinking about taking it in the spring, there's 15 of you guys thinking about taking it in the spring, you want to get off this Zoom call and get into the website and start applying for your internships. Okay. Once you have been through this meeting, you find a site, you're gonna then reach out to Keely in the office, which is on another slide, for a permission code for one of our classes, depending on whose class you want to enroll in. And so we'll get to that in a few minutes. I'll walk you through that in a few minutes. I kind of already talked about this slide. How do you select a site? What do you think you want to do? And this is where talking to us is really helpful. So talking to Dr. Eck, myself, or Rob Lancelato, if you're at the regional campuses, and talk through what it is that you think you want to do. What are some of the kinds of sites that would be good places to look? And then you go out and you can Google, or you can start with our department website and start to look for where you want to apply. What I recommend you do is you don't just like go to that list and say, okay, here's a place close to my house, I'm going to apply there. Go to their website. Go to that organization's website, see what they do, do some research into the agency. This is like looking for a job after you graduate. This is the kind of thing you'll do then. You don't want to just apply to every place. You want to look into the organizations and agencies you might be applying to and make sure it's a good fit for you before you try to apply for a job, right? And be mindful that most internships are unpaid. However, if you are offered a paid position, you are welcome to get paid by the site. We won't pay you, but if the site wants to pay you, you are welcome to get paid for your field experience. Okay, that is fine. It does not have to be an unpaid. There are no vows of poverty in psychology. That's theology and ministry. I'm kidding. So what to do next? After this, you can get started. If you need to meet with one of the faculty, reach out to us, send us an email, and we'll connect with you. Once you figure out where you want to apply, you contact that agency, ask to speak to either human resources or the volunteer coordinator, depending on the size of the agency. But a phone call will get you there. And then once you have a site saying, yeah, we'll be happy to have you, then you reach out to us. And we get you that permission code. In addition, you do need to check the website to see if we have an affiliation agreement for that site. So for instance, if you're looking at going to Homework House, okay, we have an active affiliation agreement. You don't need to do anything until you start your semester, right? Just need to get enrolled. And then you're gonna have to do their background check. For the APU, you won't have to do anything. Just get enrolled and then we'll see you the first day of class. For the sites, you'll have to do their background check and their processes at the sites to get onboarded at the site before the beginning of the semester, right? And every site will ask you to do fingerprinting, live scanning. And the cheapest place to do that is right behind us at Citrus College. It's like $35 there. You won't find any place cheaper to do your live scan. So that's where you want to go to do your live scan when they ask you to do a live scan. But you'll need to go through the onboarding process with the agency. But if we have an active affiliation agreement, you don't need to do anything else for APU until the first day of class. Okay, except get that permission code from Keeley in the office in order to get enrolled. Okay, if you find your own site and we don't have an active affiliation agreement with them. An affiliation agreement is a contract between the university and the site that sets the terms for the students from APU to be placed at the site. So if you are finding a site that does not have an affiliation agreement, you need to, you can reach out to the faculty member or reach out to Keeley. You need to get the affiliation agreement form. The affiliation agreement form is also on the website. There's links to it on the website, but if you have a hard time finding it, reach out to one of us. We can point you in the direction of the affiliation agreement form. You need to get that affiliation agreement form to the site. That's the extent of your responsibility for that. Get it to the site so that they can fill it out. And then it's their responsibility to fill it out and get it back to us. Right? If we don't get it back in a timely manner, we may ask you to nudge, but the person that will be mentoring you will not be the person filling out the affiliation agreement. So that's why your responsibility is to give them the affiliation agreement, not to collect it, because very often it's a CEO or a CFO who will be signing that affiliation agreement, and you may not have access or contact with that person. So, but it is your responsibility to give them that form and let your faculty member, once classes start, let your faculty member know that you've given them that form, so that if we don't get it back in the first few weeks, we can work with Keeley or whoever is overseeing the affiliation agreements to nudge and get those back. Okay. And then that's all you have to do. And then show up to class the first week of the semester. Once you're enrolled, you have your site. You either have sent off the affiliation agreement or affirmed that we have an affiliation active already. And then you've gotten your permission code and you've enrolled. That's what you need to do before the beginning of the semester. Any questions? If you don't know Keeley, there's her email on the slide right there at the bottom. She is our coordinator for the department. And so that's who you need to reach out to get the permission code to enroll in the class. Okay. And again, these slides are going to be on the website as well. So in case you forget, you can always go back to them. Also, all this information is in written form as well on the website. Okay, you got to follow your site's onboarding requirements. Live scan typically can take up to like a month or two to get cleared. So if you get told this month, in the month of November, by a site, yes, we want you to be doing your internship here, ask them to get started on onboarding right away, because if they need you to live scan, you need to do it before you leave for Christmas, or you won't be cleared in time to start in January. Okay. Okay. And then once you are started at the beginning of the semester, we will get you the links in the syllabi that all will work. And you'll give your supervisor the link to the learning agreement, which is different from the affiliation agreement, and the requirements for the site. So that'll happen at the beginning of the semester. And if they want to know, like if you're finding your own site and they don't know what it is, give them the link to the website under department requirements, because that will say, here's what the department's responsible for do. Here's what the mentor is responsible to do, the supervisor mentor. And it's basically what I just said. They need to be able to do anything that they ask you to do. They shouldn't be asking you to do something that they themselves don't know how to do. And they have to be able to provide you oversight, mentorship, and meet with you a total of an hour a week. That's the basic extent. Emma, question.
Yeah, hi. I've been trying to find the field experience site that you are mentioning, and I'm having trouble. Could you direct me again to where you can find those sites?
Yeah, so let me get through these slides and then I'll exit out of them and we'll go to the website.
Okay, sounds great. Thank you.
Great. Okay. Okay, and then what happens once you've started, your faculty member is going to walk you through it, but the requirements of the class is come to class, go to your field site. keep track of your time, have your supervisor sign off on your time log. You're going to be doing a reflection journal every week in your internship site. And then there is a early paper that's due in the first 6 weeks. And then there's an end of the semester reflection paper. But that's all, you don't need to worry about that right now. That'll all be covered that first week in class with the syllabi and all of that. Okay. And then what's next? There's the link to the psych field placements and nope, that is not it. Sorry about that. Okay, not that. Don't save. Okay, this is the email. If you have questions, you can email psych field placements or Keely in the department. Okay, so let me exit out and let's see if we can find the website. I know went to the department website today and apparently only Hannah and Oda and I think Charity or somebody like that works in the department. So the new website is not totally up yet. But I was able to get to psychology.apu.edu successfully. So this is the website you need to go to. Let me close this so you can find that. So it's, if you just put in, I'll redo that again so you can see it. I just put in psychology.apu.edu. Okay, if you just put that in, it'll take you right here. This is our department webpage. You guys should be coming to this all the time because this is where we put like job announcements and internship announcements under announcements. But then there's other things on here as well. And here's the undergraduate link. So you're going to click into the undergraduate link. And then there's these links down here. And down here is the field and research experience link. So you'll click in there. Okay. And then if you're interested in research experience, you click there. If you're interested in field experience, you click there. And if you want to look at the list of field sites, you click there. Now, here's the field sites. And this one here is the LA County Academic Internships website. APU is one of, I think APU might be the only private university in LA County that has a contract with LA County to do internships. I think a couple of the state universities in LA County have that, and then we do. So this is a whole other thing you can do. These are academic internship programs through LA County. I believe they're mostly all paid, but you could apply for those as well. So that is, none of these are on our list, but that link is up there at the top. And then you can click to the regional center. There are different regions that we are at, or you can click here to view the full list of potential sites. And on this link, this is essentially a Google Sheet, right? And so down at the bottom, here's all of the sites. If you want to look at online or remote sites, there's a couple places that will let you do online internships. If you want to look at Inland Empire, there's sites in the Inland Empire, right? You can sort by city. You can look at it however you want. If you are going to be going home next semester and you want to do something from out of state, you're welcome to do something. Typically that happens over the summer. So like over the summer, if you want to do an internship near your home and you live out of state, you can do that. We offer field experience over the summer online so that you can go home and do field experiences anywhere you would like. And then the all is where you will find all of the ones that are near or around Azusa with all of the other ones. So you can just sort by city if you like. And come on, get to, come on, clicking on this. It's not letting me, hold on. There we go. Sort A to Z. Okay, there you go. So here you can go to whatever city you want to look for. And then we've got their websites here. So then you can go into their website and look at what they are all about. And then over here, it says if the affiliation agreement is current or if it needs to be renewed. If it says it needs to be renewed, you're going to give that affiliation agreement to the site once they agree to take you on. Right. And then this is information about who you can contact, although I recommend going to the website, contacting them like you would if you're doing a cold call for a job. Because that information can change rapidly, like leadership changes. So that information may not be current. So I would recommend actually going more for like a cold call to a site, finding on their website, who do you need to talk to get to HR or to get to volunteer coordinators. Okay. Any questions? Yeah, Chanel.
Since there is a partnership with LA County, do we still need to have the affiliation form completed or agreement
No.
completed?
No, LA County, we've got about 150-page affiliation agreement with them.
Okay.
So we're good there. Our department affiliation page is like 3 or 4 pages. No, LA County they're hard to get these things with. So it's really cool that we have it because it's very difficult to get an LA County affiliation for internships. But yeah, there's a lot of different things out there. And so we've had students in the past that have done health psych internships there where they were working like one of my students a few courses ago was working with the city of Pasadena's Department of Health. And they were doing a lot of community outreach on everything from healthy eating to smoking cessation to substance abuse awareness to pediatric obesity, just doing all the health outreach stuff that they do in departments of health. Yeah. Any other questions? We want you guys to have a great learning experience. So work with your faculty to make sure you find a site that will rule in or rule out your next interests. Yeah, Siton.
So I have a question. Can I do like an internship at my work? Because I'm a service coordinator, but we have vocational counselor. Can I work under them to do internship?
That's a great question. If you are working at a job that you are meeting the requirements, let me go back to the here we go. Whoops, that one's not the right one. Here, let's go to here. Let me go back and show you field experience, learning objectives and goals. Okay. No, that's not it. Requirements, maybe it's on that. Aha. Okay, I'm not sure exactly where it is anymore because this has all been reworked, but essentially you can what you have to be doing for your field experience is to be working with people in some capacity, right? So if your job is primarily a paperwork job, your paperwork job can't count as field experience, but if you work there and they're willing to let you after work do your field experience underneath the vocational counselors, yes, you can do that.
Okay.
But let's say your job is working as a behavioral aid in an ASD classroom, right? And that's your job. That would be an appropriate job for your field experience. So you could then double count your job as your field experience. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank
Other
you.
questions? Yeah. Any other questions?
Yeah, you mentioned working for the Department of Health, and you said that students were doing things that didn't really sound directly like related to psychology. So what's the kind of the boundary in which we can operate in terms of looking for an internship?
That's a great question, Brent. Pretty much psychology as the study of people, it's anything in which you're working with people. So I had a student last semester who was wanting to go into PT. So he did his internship at a PT clinic because when you're working with people, you're dealing with psychology, right? Technically, you could be an animal psychologist and work with animals and be working with animal psychology, but we don't have any animal psychologists here. So pretty much if you're working with people, you're drawing on your psychology. But what we want you to do is be in an interactive capacity, working with people. Does that help, Brent?
Yeah, so like if I was working in a school environment, providing some sort of informational service, let's say, maybe related to health, but really does not have much at all to do with psychology, that could still count.
Yes, because, okay, so we have a student right now who is working with working in a high school with the college counselors, the college process counselors. I think they just call them college counselors, but anyways, they're working with the college counselors, helping the students try to figure out where are we applying, what are our priorities, etc. That is, you're using your psychology there because you have to use your skills, to try to build a relationship with people. You have to use your skills. Like we have students who have done tutoring, especially during COVID, there was a huge need for tutoring. And so there was a lot of online internships for tutoring. You have to use your psychology understanding to understand where the person is developmentally, to understand how to connect with them and build a relationship. And then you have to use your psychology skills to figure out how to impart information in a way that the person you're working with will receive it. So all of that relies on psychology. Psychology underlies so many different disciplines because psychology is the study of humanity. Yeah. Haley.
I just wanted to ask if you knew if Citrus College had any counseling like affiliation, or if we needed to ask for affiliation.
So if you have an opportunity at Citrus College, I don't think we've had anybody get a field experience at Citrus College before. So yeah, you would need to get an affiliation, but I don't think that would be much of a problem. I think we have a really good working relationship with Citrus College. Okay, we've got link errors. When Keely gets back, we need to work on fixing these link errors. So. Yes, Nicole.
I just wanted to verify, are we required to find and decide on a site before requesting the registration code? I know registration starts really soon too.
Really soon, yeah. Yes, that is the way we've set it up because we would like, now if the answer to that is yes, but if you have a lead and it's the end of the semester, you have a lead, but you haven't secured it yet, like you're in the process of securing it, before you go home, let's go ahead and get you that link because we need to make sure that no classes get canceled for low enrollment because you guys are working on getting sites. So I'd say yes, try to get your site before you go home for Christmas. If you have leads but you haven't secured it, by the time you reach finals week, reach out to Keely, get a code, get into the class. At this point, I don't think any of our classes are full. And so you should be able, if you want, like, I think my class is the middle of the afternoon on Tuesdays. I think X class is probably late afternoon on like Wednesday, I think is when he typically teaches his. And so you can get into whichever one fits for your schedule. I don't think there'll be a problem getting you in as late as finals week. But please register for all your other classes as soon as your registration opens up so you can get into the classes that you need. But this is one you don't need to worry about being able to get into. It's just we want you to try to make sure you have a site so that you don't get enrolled and then end up having to drop the class later. Yeah. Haley.
Okay, sorry, just to clarify on that. So since I have registration in 5 days, the class won't close if I don't have an agency ready by then, right?
Yeah, nope. I think a good plan for this era at APU is make sure you get registered by Christmas time before you leave for Christmas. Make sure you get enrolled by then. But when you reach out to Keely, she's going to ask you, do you have a site? And if you reach out right now and you don't have a site, she'll be like, call me back later when you have a site. So, but we'll talk with her about, okay, we need to get everybody into the classes before everybody goes home for Christmas. So that final week, if you still don't have a site nailed down, reach out for the enrollment code, but recognize that if you don't have a site by that second week, by the ad drop date, you'll have to drop the class. Jessica.
Yeah, so again, I want to clarify too. So once we have selected our site and we have that confirmed, then we send the email and then you guys send us the invite code for the class. So that's needed in order to actually enroll in the class, correct?
Yes. These are classes by permission only. So Keely will give you that permission code.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Just to double check, for the sites that are already affiliated, we just have to ask them if we're approved to work with them and that's it, right?
Yeah, so you want to reach out just like you would when you're looking for a job, introduce yourself, explain who you are, you're looking for an internship opportunity. Who can I speak to about exploring the possibility of doing an internship starting in January? And they'll take it from there. Yeah. I do want to mention because during COVID and since COVID, some of the sites have not been as immediately responsive as they were before all of that. And I think that probably has to do with like staffing shortages. So I'm going to encourage you to like, if you're going to call and leave a voicemail, you may want to, and you don't hear back within like 3 days. I would call again, or if you're emailing the HR department or the volunteer coordinator, I would send an email. If you don't hear back within 3 days, follow up with a phone call. So instead of just waiting for endless days, I would give it like a 3-day turnaround, and don't feel like you're doing something bad to call again, because I think there is some real staff shortages that is creating delays in responses. So you may have to be a little bit more assertive than you may be used to, or than historically you've needed to be. Bianca.
Will we be able to use the fact that we joined this meeting if we register for summer?
Yes, yes.
And then my second question, do you know top of your head if there's a professional class or like a Zoom class that will be taught during either summer or in the spring?
Yes, every semester there is a Zoom, there is a regional campus offering, and I think it's always done either synchronously online, and in the summer it's always done asynchronously online. Because like we may have students in China doing field experiences, so we have to do it asynchronously during the summer.
Okay, I know you mentioned something in regards to the professor we would be meeting with them. Would that be like privately through Zoom calls in regards to our field experience and how they would grade us?
Yeah, if you're in a synchronous class, it'll be synchronously on Zoom once a week. If you're in an asynchronous class, then it's the discussion boards instead of the weekly meetings. Yeah. That's a good question. Yeah. But all that to say, you can still schedule meetings with your faculty mentor to get the support you need to find your site and discern where you need to go. That doesn't have to be done asynchronously. Yeah, Jessica.
All right, sorry, one more question. So talking about how we have to, once we get the invite code, then we can enroll in the class. Considering that, we are enrolling very soon for next semester, do we have to worry about these classes filling up? Because like I know there's only a few of them, so we will be in it no matter what, basically is what you're saying.
Yeah. Yep. Don't worry about that. I don't think we've had an overflow for probably about 4 years, so I think you'll be fine. So Oda, are you monitoring the chat? There's 12 things in the chat.
I am. Actually, it's some of the comments that I made, but let's see here.
So Emma,
was the question answered? You mentioned Department of Health. Given the task performed by the interns, can one do something that is not directly related to psychology?
Yeah, we answered that one. Yeah.
Okay. And then did you answer the one of, let's see here. Who can we talk to help find certain opportunities we're looking for? I think I can answer that question. Obviously, you can talk to Dr. Eklund and Dr. Eck, but also feel free to talk to one of your academic advisors among the faculty, and they can also help you in terms of some of the opportunities you may be searching for.
Emma.
Yes, Emma.
Hey, I was just wondering, will we be emailed this recording of the Zoom?
We're going to post it actually on the psychology.apu.edu website. So if you would like a copy of the video, I think we could probably arrange to send that to you, but most likely the best place to access it on is at our website.
Right. Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions? So quick recap, if you already have a job and you're working with people and it fits the criteria that is in here somewhere, which I need to figure out where Some of our links aren't working and some of them are, but in there was a handbook that might be here. This is learning goals and objectives. No. Handbook got broken up, I think. Oh, okay, here we go. Here it is, 100 hours working directly with individuals or groups served by the agency. So if you're interested in organizational psych, the 100 hours may involve organizational development activities that involve committee or community meetings, data collection, analysis, or other psychological and systematic professionals activities. But all service plans will be pre-approved by the faculty member before you start the field experience. Weekly interaction, weekly group supervision, policies and procedures here. So here that is. And then somewhere, where is the list of possible sites? Oh my gosh, this is broken it up. So where did they put the site requirements? Okay, here's your responsibilities. And then here's the site agency's responsibilities. So supervision of students and their performance and activities, field supervisor's responsibility, the learning agreement. They have to be competent in anything they ask you to do. They have to meet with you for that hour and help you, process your experience. They're going to evaluate you and sign off on your time log. And then here's what the faculty will be doing. Okay. This class also will help you prepare for your next steps. So this class will also help you do things like get your resume or CV in order, get your personal statement or your cover letters in order. So it's also part of your professional development. It's very focused on getting you ready to launch out of here and into your next steps of your career. Emma, do you still have a question? I think so. Okay.
No, sorry.
That's okay. So in summary, go find your internship. Once you find your place, reach out to Keely for a permission code. Make sure you get your onboarding at the site ready to go for the beginning of the semester, and then come to class and we'll take it from there. Okay? All right. Thank you guys for coming.